For over 19 years, your eyes and ears on horse racing has been Tommy Walski's The Sportive King. On today's show, we'll see life after racing for a racehorse. Our race of the week is the Jim Coleman Province. Tommy recaps some of the major stakes in racing across the nation. Virginia gets you caught up on all the news. We'll hit the archives in case you missed it. Our salute to the champions, remembers one of racing's equine heroes. And out here he is, BC's ambassador to the world of horse racing, Mr. Tommy Walski.
Have you ever wondered whatever happens to those horses that you've been watching every year at Hastings Racecourse? We're going to show you as we visit a group of volunteers who each year go out and find homes for those horses. It's called the New Stride Dullbird Retirement Foundation. Let's take a peek at this unique group.
New Stride was founded in 2002, and it was a group of people that are involved in the racing industry, owners, breeders, people who worked on the backstretch, and what they did is they got together to found a group where horses could go when they're done their careers and then find homes for them, adoptive homes for them, so they can go on to do other things. We've got a few different foster farms, but our main location is in the Mountain Lehman area of Abbotsford. It's a beautiful barn called Albury Farms. The best way to describe it is it's as close to heaven on earth as humanly possible. It's absolutely stunning. There's an adoption fee. It's not very much. It's only $750, which is the other thing, is that you're getting extraordinary horses for a very good price. We have a barbecue buffet lunch in the marquee tent, and we get the opportunity to introduce the public to New Stride and what we're all about and how we support the racing industry and that sort of thing. We've got a number of other fundraisers coming up. Various 50-50 days here at the racetrack. We're planning a gala wine tour in the fall. We have various booths that we have at different horse shows and that sort of thing. Many different fundraising activities throughout the course of the year.
New Stride has had a website for a number of years, and it really is our lifeline. It's our connection with the public. It's how I became involved with New Stride, just looking around at the horses, finally deciding to stop stalking and get in there and volunteer. We recently revamped our website. We made it over because it was a little bit clunky. It wasn't quite as agile as it needed to be and not as organized. So we had somebody come in and basically retool it for us. So it's a little sleeker, a little more interactive, a little easier to use, and people are really looking for that in their internet experience. And it does draw people and it brings them to us. And of course, people are on the internet all the time now, and we had to really move with the times and get involved with things like Facebook. We're on Twitter now. We have it connected to our Facebook. So when Kim, for example, is out riding at Albury Farms where we keep the horses, she can take pictures and they immediately go up onto our Facebook. And we have a small fan base so far, about 130 people, but it's growing every week. And people are really involved in our Facebook community. We have people who've adopted horses from us posting pictures of their horses in their new jobs, people supporting the events that we're attending or that we're doing, attending events because they're aware of it through our Facebook. So Facebook is really, really helpful to us.
We've got quite a number of horses that are at that barn. We've got a couple of more popular names there right now. We've got a horse called How About Jose, who's I think he's 12 right now, and he raced for quite a number of years. He won $235,000. We've also got Agro, who came to us in September of this last year. He raced up here quite a bit. He also won quite a bit of money. I believe it was around $165,000 that he won, so he was quite successful. So those are our more popular guys right now. We've also got others that were in training to become racehorses, but for whatever reason they didn't work out, they weren't fast enough or what have you. So we're trying to find homes for them, and then we've got a couple that did race at Hastings as well, but weren't as successful as our other big name guys. I find that these horses are actually very easy to work with. Usually what happens is they'll come to the farm after they're done their racing, and we'll give them a little bit of time off just to settle in and get used to the place and what have you. And then what we'll do is we'll start handling them. We handle them a lot just to get them familiar, get them comfortable with things, and then they start with some groundwork, and then eventually we get on them and ride them. And what we do with the riding is depending on what they're suited for. If they're suited for, say, the hunter jumper world or the dressage world, we'll do a lot of ring work with them. If they're more suited to Western pleasure or what have you, we'll pop a Western saddle on them and ride them around in the fields, ride them on the roads, get them used to that kind of thing. So that's also time permitting, of course, because sometimes people will come in and they'll see a horse on the website and they'll just love it and want to come in and take it. So they don't necessarily end up getting all of that amount of time if they're popular and they go quickly. I adopted one of our horses actually, and who I fondly refer to as my child, and he is probably the most spoiled horse in the barn now, but I purposely have kept him at Albury, our main foster farm, specifically so that I can still work on the other horses as well. So I ride them all quite a bit.
Hey folks, come on out and support Hastings injured rider April Friesen next Saturday, June 19th. There's a day-long silent auction and lots of fun ways to show your support for April. Don't go away. The Sport of Kings. We'll be right back. And now to get you up to date with what's happening in and around the track, let's saddle up with our own Virginia Tulloch.
Stakes action continued throughout the weekend with the running of the John Longan 6000 on Sunday, June the 6th. The stakes race for 3-year-olds and up was won by Almost Time. Almost Time is trained by Dino Condilenios and owned by Swift Thoroughbreds. Let's have a look at the exciting finish.
To the quarter-mile marker they run, 6 furlongs up in 1:10 and 3, and it's Tatey with the lead. Senior Rojo driving up on the inside. Almost Time on the outside. Tommy Danzinger's had enough. An 1/8 of a mile to run in the Longden, and Senior Rojo looking to slip through on the inside. Down the lane they come. It's Tatey. Almost Time. Senior Rojo. Almost Time has gone by Tatey, and he opens up by 2. It's Almost Time now by 2. Almost Time to score. Tatey second. Senior Rojo third. Tommy Danzinger fourth.
Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th, as Hastings hosts a special fundraiser for jockey April Friesen. After her May 16th spill at Hastings, April's agent Gord Rumble organized a special event to help April through this difficult recovery period. We caught up with Gord to get all the details.
We're having a silent auction June 19th from 9 o'clock till 6 p.m. in the temporary casino site below the grandstand. We're also going to have a 50-50 draw that day, and we're going to start a raffle selling tickets on June 13th, and the draw is going to be on the 27th, a Sunday during the races, and it's going to be for a trip for 2 to Vegas.
Hastings management has recently announced a change to the 2010 Thoroughbred racing schedule. Live racing, which was originally scheduled for July 2nd, has now been postponed to September 24th. To find out why this change was necessary, we spoke to Director of Racing, Paul Reinville.
Well, we had originally planned on running a 4-day week from Canada Day, July 1 through July 4th. And after our Victoria Day weekend, where we ran 4 days and then came back with a 3-day week, it stretched the horse population a little thin. And in order to have that week be a big week, because Canada Day is a big week, a big day for us, we decided to move the Friday the 2nd to actually the Friday September 24th, which will be BC Derby weekend, and we just felt that was a prudent measure to take.
Last year's leading apprentice jockey Giovanni Franco recently returned to Hastings Racecourse. We caught up with his agent Wayne Snow to find out where he's been and what his plans are for the future.
Last fall he was leading apprentice here, and he won the last 3 of the last 4 stakes. So I suggested he go to California. So by the time he got there, the horses, the trainers, everything else, he couldn't find a way to get going. So he tried it. He won races down there. So I convinced him that he would do better to finish up his apprenticeship if he came back here. So he did come back here, and he'll try it again later. So he's a very nice little rider. He's a nice young man, and he came here last year not knowing 1 word of English. And right now he can converse quite nicely with you. So I look forward to having a nice summer with him.
That's all the news for today. From Trackside, I'm Virginia Tulloch, and now you're back on track.
Racing across the nation, where we follow all the top stakes races throughout North America. Racing Across the Nation is brought to you in memory of Jeff Robinson, owner and breeder at Erin Acres.
Today in our Racing Across the Nation part of the program, 2 races you'll be watching, grade 1s that all could have a major impact on the horses that you'll be watching in this fall's Breeders' Cup. First up, Belmont Park in New York. It's a grade 1, $300,000 Acorn Stakes. It's for 3-year-old fillies. They're going a mile distance. In this race, you want to pay particular attention to the 12 horse, Champagne Dior, who was 40 to 1, and she's trying to wire them from gate to wire.
To the stretch. Then it is still Quiet Temper who's in contention, while only 7 lengths from the lead. Tanda circling horses, but Tanda's forced to go 7 wide as they make the turn into the stretch. Champagne Doro and Buckle Up Buttercup are head-to-head for the lead. Amen, hallelujah! Comes up to join the leaders on the outside. Tanda made a big wide move on the far turn. 4th, now 3rd, into the final furlong. Champagne Doro still clinging desperately to the lead. Amen, hallelujah! Right at her throat latch. Tanda continues to close. Here's the wire. Champagne Doro did it! And Champagne Doro is 40 to 1 on the wire.
Next up, we're going to travel down I-5. We're going to visit to Hollywood Park in Southern California. We're going to be looking at the $250,000 Grade 1 Charlie Whittingham Stakes. It's for 3-year-olds. Horse you want to watch is number 1, Acclamation. Now, in this race, you're going to see a horse running that has the same name of a horse that's running up here. His name is Battle of Hastings. Don't be confused. The horse you're watching was born in Great Britain, and he got by the powers to be when they named him.
Orfito has trailed throughout, Acclamation has led throughout, and now he's in a full sprint to the quarter pole. Acclamation and Christian Santiago Reyes, they are fresh, fit and strong at the top of the stretch. It's only a quarter of a mile for the Grade 1 win, and Acclamation is 4 lengths in front of I-80s. To the outside, Battle of Hastings is 3rd, Cintillo is 4th, and Acclamation comes to the final furlong. Reyes asks for him for everything he's got. I-80s is running, Battle of Hastings is inside, and Acclamation is still clear. High 80s, Battle of Hastings, Lou Breton, Acclamation, yes!
Did you know that Hollywood has produced over 100 movies involving horse racing? Let's test your horse racing movie knowledge. In the movie Let It Ride, what was the occupation of Jay Trotter? He was played by Richard Dreyfuss. Don't go away. The Sport of Kings. We'll be right back. And now the answer to our horse movie trivia. In the movie Let It Ride, what was the occupation of Jay Trotter, played by Richard Dreyfuss? The character was a taxi driver. The Sport of Kings shines its camera on the equine heroes competing for glory in the biggest weekly Hastings race. We call it our Race of the Week. The Race of the Week is brought to you by Nick's Spaghetti House. Nick's Spaghetti House, combining great food in a horse racing atmosphere.
Today on our Race of the Week, brought to you by Nick's Spaghetti House. The 3-year-olds get together for the $50,000 Jim Coleman Province Stakes. It's a major prep for the BC Derby running this fall, so every owner has a vested interest in this race. Let's turn the microphone over to Brooke Ward.
Victor's Magic is owned by L. Kerr, 3 of Diamond Stable and R&J Thoroughbreds. Victor's Magic is coming off a third-place finish in his first start of the year and packs a bullet work.
It's a wide open race, so I think I got a really good chance. There's enough pace in the race, so we'll be coming up at the end.
7 Torrance is owned by Rama Racing. 7 Torrance is an Emerald Downs horse that has been racing all winter, so he might have a conditioning edge on some of these.
He's pretty versatile. He can be on the lead or come from out of it, and I've already talked to Frank a little bit about the jockey and told him that however it comes up, you just ride your race with him, and like I said, he'll do pretty much anything you want.
Silly Fella is owned by Nick, Pauline, and Giovanni Felicella. Silly Fella is last year's Futurity winner and is just getting better with every race.
I'm pretty confident in him. The colt's done things about as much as I could ask of him, and he's doing right and learning right.
Cherokee Notion is owned by Glenn Todd and Patrick Kinsella. Cherokee Notion is having a good start to his 3-year-old season. Look for him to be near the lead.
Like the last 2 races that he got, like it was pretty decent. Like he's been on it with us. So besides that, he likes the decent. Like I think that's his best shot, 6.5. So hopefully we'll have a good trip.
Taquis Kiapon is owned by Lara Racing Stables. Taquis Kiapon makes his season debut here and might need this race for conditioning.
And well, I like him a lot. I think he's a nice 3-year-old, but I haven't had a chance to start it before, so we're coming in fresh.
Sense of Humor is owned by Rick Demers, Conrad Kozanek, and Fran Snow. Sense of Humor is a lightly raced horse, but he's coming off a gate-to-wire finish in his first start of the year.
He's coming into the race really good. His first race he was a little too sharp and went really too fast the first part of it, and I think we've got him relaxed where he can lay second. He doesn't have to make the lead, but he does have a tremendous amount of natural speed.
Dynastrol is owned by Glenn Todd, Patrick Kinsella, and Coda Racing Stable. Dynastrol is a stakes winner at 2 and is prepping well for today.
We're going to take him back and make one run, and he's a much better horse going around the ground than he is sprinting. But he's there every time. He's going to get part of it, and he's a good horse.
And now, let's enjoy this strong field of 3-year-olds. They're going 6.5 furlongs in the 22nd running of the Jim Coleman Province.
There they go. Field of 7 3-year-olds sent on the way in the Jim Coleman Province. 7 Torrance and Sense of Humor on the outside. Silly Fella right there in between runners. Then it's back to Cherokee Notion. Dynastrol's on the extreme outside. Victor's Magic throttled down in the early going. And the trailer, Taquis Kiapon. Into the clubhouse turn they go. Silly Fella from the inside, now by a head. Sense of Humor, second by a length and a half. Cherokee Notion on the outside. 7 Torrance saving ground at the rail. Dynastrol now is 5th by a length. Victor's Magic and Taquis Kiapon. Opening quarter 22 flat as they race down the backstretch. Sense of Humor from the outside by a head. Silly Fella second by 2.5. Cherokee Notion and 7 Torrance to his inside, followed by Dynastrol on the outside. Victor's Magic and Taquis Kiapon, the half up in 44 and 3/16 to run, and Sense of Humor takes over, leads it by a length and a half. On the outside, it's Dynastrol, then it's Silly Fella in third. Down the lane they come in the Jim Coleman Province. Sense of Humor, Dynastrol moving up down the inside. It's Sense of Humor, Dynastrol bursts through. Dynastrol to score in the Province. Sense of Humor second, Silly Fella third. Looks like Victor's Magic is fourth.
Going in a race, did you think you had this kind of a shot?
Yeah, we liked both horses, Tom. We really did. And Troy was really pretty high on Dynastrol all week. He thought he was going to win it, and we were going back and forth, you know, speed, and we decided that we were going to send Cherokee Notion to Edmonton, but we're going to send the colt we ran last night. We got some pretty good 3-year-olds, and so we decided to run 2, and Troy was probably right. We should have just run the 1.
How'd the race set up? Obviously it was good because you won, but how did it set up?
Well, it set up we were laying about 3rd and 4th. Giovanni was strangling the horse to keep him back there. He was really good. That's the best he's ever been in the paddock too. And I knew at the quarter pole it was all over. He asked him, and he was on his way. And same kind of movements he made in the Ascot.
You mentioned you got a lot of 3-year-olds that are pretty good. How's this horse set up for the Derby, upcoming Derby?
Well, I think he can run all day. He's a Stroll out of a Dynaformer mare, so I know they can run forever. Stroll want to run on the grass, but it's he can run that far. We know that for sure.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Now here's the part of the show we simply call In Case You Miss It. It's a chance for you to look back at the magic and the mystery of horse racing here in British Columbia from the Sport of Kings perspective. In case you missed it. Today on our In Case You Missed It part of the program, we're going to once again pay tribute to one of the popular BC breds from the past when we look at Peter Redikoff's outstanding and popular filly, that would be Astro Beauty. This is In Case You Missed It.
Heading into that lane, Donut Queen, Astro Beauty, they're right together.
As a 2-year-old, she started winning very early, of course, and we knew right away that she was a horse that could really run. But so we won a lot of stake races with her over the 3 years. But the highlight race was the BC Oaks as a 3-year-old that she won, and it was the closest race that she had. So that was very exciting for us.
I'm sure she could go and run with anybody. She's that good. But damn it, the BC bred, and they're nice to save here. They're well, just look, Tom, how much she's made. When you outrun everybody, you got everybody saying she should be packing more when she's already packing the whole load. When you get up to 27, 28, Tom, that's a lot for. Those are usually the horse of the years and, in the States, right? She's done it all for me, just everything. Didn't matter what kind of a racetrack, what distance, what weight. Every time she beat the odds every time, even when it looked like, when you win so many in a row, law average, you should get beat. But she just, she made me and Sam look good every time, like Sam said.
When did you decide to take her out of training and why?
Well, last year as you remember, I had her, nominated for a couple of races and entered. And I blew her out for the race, and I knew she had a chip sitting there, like a little break, in the ankle. And it had been sitting there and she'd been running on it, Tom. But it was, as long as it didn't come loose, we were making out fine with it. And then when I prepped her for the last 2 stakes, it ended up coming loose. The one before, it didn't come loose, but it was starting to bug her a little. And then, so I scratched her out of that race and entered her back, and she was going good again. And then, doggone it, she started to limp a little bit. And so we x-rayed, and there was a chip sitting there loose. It was floating, and so then it would kind of pinch in the joint, like when she'd extend it, it would pinch and hurt, which they can be quite painful.
Any one race particularly with?
Tom, every one with her, I get pretty tense when she wins as many as what she does. And like last year, she never did get beat. They couldn't outrun her.
When she is all through with her career, what is on your mind to do with Astro Beauty?
Well, we're going to take her to Kentucky and breed her to a good stud. And so I'm not in breeding, so I may sell her when she's in foal, or I may still keep her. I don't know. She's certainly our favorite horse that we've had over all of these years.
Now, for an update on Astro Beauty, as Peter Redikoff mentioned in the piece, he did send her to Kentucky. She did get sold, but she never lived up to expectations that she achieved as a racehorse.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings will be right back.
Today on our Salute to the Champions, brought to you by the Vancouver Province, we're taking it back only 1 week for the 2010 Belmont Stakes. And while this race did not have a superstar, believe it or not, it was one exciting finish. Let's turn the microphone over to Tom Durkin.
The Salute to the Champions is brought to you by the Province Sports, where you can read Tommy Walski's column, Hoss Talk, every Friday. The Province Sports, it all starts here.
And they're off. Interactive on the far outside. Spangled Star is there. First Dude has some speed, so does Game On Dude. So they make their way to that sweeping clubhouse turn here at Belmont Park. And it's First Dude who's first into the turn. Uptown Charlie Brown is up close to the pace today. And Interactive is too. He's right there running in third. Game On Dude is fourth on the outside, and Fly Down now runs in fifth position. Drosselmeyer is sixth on the outside. Then Spangled Star is back running in seventh. A break of 3 back to Stately Victor eighth. And Icebox is now ninth, and he's already about 11 lengths from the lead. And at the back of the pack now are Stay Put, Dave and Dixie, and Make Music for Me. They are 10th, 11th, and 12th as First Dude takes the field into the backstretch run. First Dude leads it by a length, being pushed along here by Interactive. The opening half mile was reasonable, 49 seconds flat. So First Dude settles into that powerful stride of his. He's out there stretching those long legs. He's now in front by a length and 3/4. Interactive is second. Game On Dude on the outside is running along in third. Uptown Charlie Brown is rating beautifully so far. He's fourth toward the inside. Drosselmeyer is fifth. Fly Down is 6, 5.5 lengths from the lead. Then it's a break of 2.5 to Spangled Star, followed by Icebox. Icebox has gotten a bit closer. He's now about 8 lengths from the lead after a 3/4 mark of 1:14 and 4. Farther back in the field are Stay Put, Stately Victor, who's still unhurried with 5 furlongs to go. Make Music for Me, Dave and Dixie has dropped off to trail the field. Furlong after power for furlong, it's First Dude. First Dude leads. Interactive is second. Game On Dude is third with the half mile to go here. Uptown Charlie Brown, he's now being asked to pick it up. Drosselmeyer is fifth. He's only 3 from the lead. Then Fly Down. Time ticking away for Icebox. He's still got a lot to do and only 3 furlongs to do it. He's now been passed by Stay Put, and now the field comes to the top of the stretch. First Dude, Game On Dude, and Interactive. They're across the track together. Uptown Charlie Brown is down toward the rail. Drosselmeyer comes up on the far outside at the top of the stretch. First Dude, Game On Dude. They're head-to-head for the lead. Drosselmeyer trying to wear them down from the far outside. Uptown Charlie Brown and Fly Down to the finish. First down is Deputy on the outside here. Here at the wire, Drosselmeyer, who gets First Dude in the shadow of the wire. Drosselmeyer, an upset winner. Fly Down and First Dude.
Okay, that's it for this edition of the Sport of Kings. And once again, on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to say thanks for allowing us to be with you on this last half hour. One thing to leave you, very important, next Saturday, it's April Freezing Day. Come out and enjoy the festivities as we try to get April on her way. Remember to keep them straight. Oh, you know what? We are going to get you on that final turn. When you were growing up, who did you look up to as a rider?
Well, I watched races from Hastings Park, and I think one of the guys inspired me so much. His way of riding was Shad Hoverson, and he was an awesome guy, and I think I learned lots from him. So, and I'm still learning from him.
How green do you want to get?
All right.